Now, of course, if you're just starting with mackerel fishing, with your feathers, you can go out in the shops or even online. You can buy loads of different types of mackerel feathers. Or, if you're really bad, like me, I had these in a pouch for years. All the feathers and that are going really manky. Some of the hooks are rusty, but I can actually probably salvage a few of these and rejuvenate them. And this is what I do. First, you've got to sort out which ones are good and which ones aren't. Actually, really first, I've got to put a pair of binoculars on. Now, some of them come with these little beads in front, like a luminous bead, and they're really good. This feather here, I'm pretty sure, oh dear, just as rotten as you want. There's a little plastic tag there as well, which I'm going to snip that off. So get yourself a pair of scissors. You don't cut the actual whipping if they're what they call snelled hooks on a spade end, or snelled onto a spade end hook, I should say. I leave that bead on there and I test the hook. If it snaps in my fingers, that's not good. But even if it doesn't, if it's really dodgy and you cut it off, get a pair of pliers or mole grips, get hold of the point of the hook, tweak it and snap it. I don't put hooks just in the waste bin because eventually they go on landfill. So if you snap it that way, there's less chance of some creature getting caught on it. And I also get on my fishing line and cut it and snip it to pieces. That's what I do anyway. Some people just put it on the fire and burn it. Oh look, that one fell to pieces. Absolutely fell to pieces. But the hook's okay. So now I'm going to snip all this off. Anybody can do this. Look, it's mostly guys, they don't go fishing, they like go once a year. They don't want to go out and buy new mackerel feathers. It's up to you. You can rejuvenate them. Get yourself a little stone like this sharpening stone. This is coarse on one side, smooth on the other. Should there be any rust on there? No rust on my hooks. Much. Just clean the rust off. I tend to work, if you see that, away from the point. Now some big hooks you can't get that stone under there. So I just generally work away and finishing the stroke down the point like this, and you can test it on your fingernail. Because don't forget guys, mackerel feathers are really, really great equalisers because if you fish them over a reef, in fact anywhere, you can get ling. I've even heard of conger being taken when they've been baited. You can get ling on them, you can get pollock, you can get bass, not just mackerel, coalfish. So you can catch them, that's sharp now, okay? So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this, not all hooks have these beads on, but I'm just leaving that one on. What I'm going to do is this, I'm going to get some of these. These, it's called, look, not selling it, it's just called Witchlight Decorator Tape. We cut it into strips and put it around the neck of marlin lures, big fishing marlin lures. So you can go and get yourself some silver sellotape. Try party shops that do wrapping. I'm going to do this silver one there. My God, who I used to sell those at? £1.58 a packet. Oh my God, wouldn't cost that now for sure. This is really way too good for mackerel feathers. I'm just doing this to show you what can be done. So I get a little sheet of that. I get my scissors. I'm just going to cut very, very narrow, just across there. So I want to get as many out of this as I can, as you can see, and then I'm going to bend it just like that. Now, two ways of doing this. You can just fold it around the hook, you can get hold of the hook, and whip it, but you have to cut a little half split in there, or some people I've seen, they actually push the hook through there. In fact, let's try it, why not try it? I think I can afford to lose one bit. Push that hook through there, see, like that. Push it up to the front a bit, doesn't matter about that front being a tag end. And then those two bits here, those two tag ends, you can peel back. This is just how I've seen it done. There's loads of different ways to do it. Now this is the great fun. This is like sellotape and that, you know, finding the end of the sellotape. My God, you can spend your life doing it. There's one bit. Peel it back to there. Cut it off. Same obviously on the other side. Oh, I've got a good bit there. Let's see if I can get hold of that. Yes, sirree. Michael tells me it's going to work in one. Make sure you don't cut the silver bit. Now I'm just going to show that to you in close up. There, like this. Where are we there? And then I push it as far up as I can get it like this and fold it back around the shank. Hopefully you're seeing this, around the shank of the hook. just like that. Pinch in here, so it's sticking together either side of the shank. Okay, now, it's just me doing it, everybody's different. I put a little sort of twist in this, watch. I just crush the nose of it, if you like. I crush the nose of it, and I want to cut a little V in there to make it look like a little sort of tail, as it were. Just like a little notch. Or two little notches, actually. Just like that. Can you see that? Now, to beef that up, that will stay on there, but it's going to get pulled down after a few mackerel. The reason I've made a little neck on there is because I'm going to whip over the top. And then hopefully, if you can see that, I'm going to make it a little bit tougher. All I'm using here, a bit of old, well, it's not a bit of old fishing line, a bit of new fishing line, my goodness me. I just make a half hitch in it. I've got a knot in the end of it, so it will pull up tight, it won't slide through in itself. And then get my mackerel feather. You can put feathers, you can get some duck feathers, chicken feathers, anything. I'm just using this reflective tape here because I've already got it. Put it over the top of the hook, over that little neck bit I've made there. Pull it down and then just whip nice and tight. Once you get that pinch down there, you can pinch it with your nail, and I tend to work from the back up towards the front. Nice and tight, so that makes it hard for them to pull down. Then just finish off with a couple of half hitches. It's going to be tricky doing this one. Somebody coming in the car, probably Mike coming in to do a bit of editing. Right, a couple of half hitches like that. Oh, it's nice and tight. Snip it off. And then, if that's not the wife that's come in and it is Mike, you can actually add a little bit of actual colour up the front here by doing this. If no one's looking, why not go in the bedroom and pinch one of these? A little bit of nail varnish. I'm actually going to put that piece of paper there because I really don't need red blotches all over my pool table. I expect this stuff is nice and expensive, but I'll get my money's worth. There's no point putting it on your nails, is there? So there we go, I've got it there. I'm going to move it over a bit. You can just jolly this up a little bit. Look, look, look. Pinch some of the wife's nail varnish. All women watching this, don't blame me if you suddenly go to find your Chartreuse pink or whatever special Yves Saint Laurent nail varnish is expensive, and your husband's used it to make an improved or rejuvenated mackerel feather. One little tag in there, I was sniffing on. There we go, you can see the bead slides down on that. You still got the bit here. You can, if you want, if you have an eyed hook, because this has a snelled knot under there. If you had an eyed hook, you can stick this right at the front. To me, it doesn't really matter. If it moves through the water, it moves through the water. Look how long these feathers were. Look, I'll just show you. That's where the feather was. There, you can see the same whipping point. So look at the length of the feather. You think that's set too far back. Actually, it's not, because the feather's way back there. So there we go. I'm going to crack on here, and I should get myself a rejuvenated set of mackerel feathers. I've got about 5 sets of these feathers I'm going to rejuvenate, and that'll see me through the season, hopefully. But listen, while you're at it, why not just get your fishing knife, because mine is always blunt. That tape is around it, guys, just to show me when I'm out on a group that nobody picks out my sheath and goes, oh, well, that's my knife. No, and I did actually have a bit of tape around the knife, but I can always put a little bit of that nail varnish as a dab on there. Keep it clean, keep it oiled. You can always take with you one of these little sharpenings. You can have a sharpening stone, obviously, like this will give you a bit of edge. For quickness, you can use one of these that you just draw that knife slowly through. Take great care sharpening knives. But listen, all the chefs, all the cooks in the world, they all use sharp knives. They all have knife sharpeners of varying degrees. Put a nice edge on your knife. Look after it, and then when you come to cut your bait, it will be nice. Oh, that is sharp. Nice and neat, and you make a neat bait presentation, and hopefully, no adverts, we'll turn it around the other way. Hopefully, you catch a fish with a neat bait. Just a little tip while you're doing jobs like rejuvenating your mackerel feathers. I've got to get to work, I've got a lot to do, and a lot of nail varnish to put on. Betty. Well, we're on a thresher shark drift. You can see we got down there some scad in there as well. We've
it's probably half scad, half mackerel.
But Wayne's just there. I'll just show you my head cam there. Wayne's tipping the baits off. And he's got small hooks, but that little bit of bait makes a difference, doesn't it, Wayne?
It does when it's really tough fishing. If you do what's called a little sweetener on it, which is a little sliver of, I'm using mackerel here, a little light flash of real bait on the end, it just makes all the difference.
And my first drop down, I've lucked into, just kept it there where we did that little link. A bass has caught me by surprise, I don't mind admitting. And those baited feathers definitely work. There we go. Nice little bass, you can see. And these feathers, believe it or not, Wayne, these feathers were tied by Frank Vinicum from Falmouth.
Good old Frank.
Renowned for his exploits with huge fish, including mako. So these have been tied by a guy of historic significance. And I'm going to put this chappie back because it's good luck and we really want a thresher. He's gone. And that's what you get when you don't watch what you're doing. Well, there we go. Strings of mackerel coming in, tangled mackerel. That's one of our prime bait fish and eating fish there. Got some there, Wayne?
Oh, I might have one on here,
yeah. There we go. Guys, you can see on the sounder there, hopefully you can, a shoal of mackerel going through. We're in 112 feet, water's 18 degrees, that's pretty warm I'd say. And that's the mackerel that we're hoping to catch all through the day. He's just drifted and out them. Of course, if you don't want to be out on the ocean or casting off the rocks, you can always look to places like this, an estuary or a harbour. And at high water, mackerel generally will come in there. Now you can attract these by using, yeah that's right, even I can't pronounce the name of that, hoi, but it's got crabs and squid in it, whatever. It is a ground bait that can be used for reef fish, and I guess it's very popular abroad. We're going to be using it float fishing here. Now that's something totally different. No feathers this time for mackerel. You're suspending your bait, maybe, I want to say about 4 feet deep. You could go deeper, but there's really no point because mackerel chase their fry up towards the surface when they're hunting them. So that's why you will see mackerel scattering. This is a self-loaded float. It has no other weight underneath the float. It is just almost free line, and there you can see the mackerel take. We're using very, very light rods, telescopic rods here, maybe 8 pounds line, I want to say, 8 pounds line, 10 pound line, and you can go straight through with that. There's no need to go any lighter. And as you can see when this fish comes out, there's the mackerel. I guess that's about 4 feet deep. Now then, if it's low tide, obviously there's 2 feet of water. You don't want to be fishing 4 feet deep. I'm going to suggest to you to catch mackerel like this on bait, which is what we're using here, float fishing individual particles, is you want to be about 1/4 to half depth down. Keep your ground bait going in. You can mix it up wet, and some of this will blow away in the wind, but it all goes in there. The heavier grains do actually sink, and that helps attract lots of tiny little fish and fry, and this in turn attracts obviously predators like the mackerel. Also, why not try using a spinner or a spoon, anything flashy, just one. You can either jig them vertically up and down where you put the ground bait in, or you can cast out and retrieve. I personally found on this particular day that float fishing, there's the bite, you can see it, zoom, straight down, just lift into the fish. You can let them go if you want, but we were trying to stockpile bait. There, Wayne's got them going as well. If there's 2 of you, you both want to fish in the same chum slick. There's no point one of you fishing up one end and somebody else fishing down the other end, because you'll be splitting that shoal of fish between the 2 of you. Of course, you don't have to keep these fish for bait. They are absolutely prime eating fish. You can use them either grilled, you can bake them, you can fry them, and of course everybody knows about smoked mackerel. So a fine wire hook, and these are fresh frozen sand eels here. This is just how I hook them. Lightly through the bottom of the jaw or throat latch up through the centre of the head, pull that hook through, turn it, and then I just put it in just behind the gills there on the side, and when you pull that loop tight, it should all hang straight. If you're not retrieving, you are actually casting it out and basically letting it hang there in amongst those bits of ground bait that are getting washed around by the tide. Check your reel drag. In this case, I've got a homemade rod holder there, which is pretty convenient. You can use fine strips of mackerel as well, little thin strips of mackerel. I personally have got 2 float rods on the go, but the important thing is keep that sand eel hanging straight. Flick it out. Distance is not the key. Getting your bait to sit in amongst where the chum is pretty well paramount importance. And look, hey ho, here is the master in action at catching 2 at a time. Both floats have gone. I've got 2 mackerel hooked up there. Well, as a float fishing shore angler, does it get any better than that? 2 at a time. That's another big mackerel there. Look at the size of that one, and it just shows you there's a sort of sport you can get, just float fishing pieces of basically sand eel in the chum. What a good job Wayne bought all those sandals with us, and in the evening with a flood tide you generally don't get any better conditions. It's a special presentation on the Totally Awesome Fishing Show. I'm going to put this one back. We're shark fishing tomorrow and the next day, so this is the luckiest mackerel ever. So there you go, some tips on how to rejuvenate your mackerel feathers if you want to catch them that way. There's another method here of float fishing. Get those floats in the water, guys. And don't forget, watch Totally Awesome Fishing Show, watch TA Outdoors, hit the subscribe button on both, and we'll see you in the next show.